Hi, how stock market and economy is related to each other and why people fear when there is a big fall in stock market. This is the most important thing because every time when there is a market fall, people fear and they take their money out and there is a huge drama around the stock market like it's a gambling place. So we will let you know. I will let you know. So towards the end of the video, will be clear how these two are related to each other and what one step you can do during this tough time during this corona crisis. And if you are invested in market, this is the video you should watch. So hi, hello, this is Ganesh and your millionaire coach and author of the book Money Leaks. And today I'm just going to share about how people think that both are related to each other and how they take decisions. So first, let's think about the stock market and economy as two separate parts. And stock market, in the sense, is that it's nothing but the companies, real companies, which are being listed in stock exchange, and all the stocks put together, they become the market. Stock market, put as simple as that. So, for example, if the company is not going to do well, the stock is going to fall. If the entire industry, if the entire sectors, all the sectors put together, what I mean is like automobile, banking, metal industry, and airlines, FMCG, everything, consumer, and everything. If all the industries are not going to perform well, think about the stock market. What will do? It will fall, right? So let's consider the two levels of this is stock market and this is the economy. Say, for example, the economy is really doing good or really flattened, and when it comes to India, for the last 2 years, we have been going on a lower trajectory, meaning that we are demonetization followed with GST, and the impact is still felt, and we were trying to come out of the rut and go on a speed. But what happened all of a sudden? uh, in the stock market, this is still there and it's still moving up just because the liquidity is high. People started investing in equities. People started believing that through mutual funds, through ULIP policies, through EPF, all the money started coming flow into equities in the stock market. So that is the reason, even if the level is here, the real value of the companies, real value of the economy is here, and the stock market keeps rising just because liquidity is there. There is a premium which we paid in the last 2 3 years, and we kept investing, and that is a and what it's not a fault or something. It kept growing, meaning we believe that the economy will start increasing to this level. But from January, what happened is China got affected with corona, and because of that, the whole world started getting affected. So slowly, over a period of time, the entire world is gripped with fear. What will happen? So I'm in the same position now. The stock market started reacting because it's not the one country. The next, Italy got affected, next Iran got affected, and slowly it went to US in the last couple of weeks. Not couple of In the last 1 week to 10 days, the number of deaths had increased, the number of people affected has increased multifold, and it has overtaken China now. It's almost like overtaken China by today and by now. And that is the reason the market started falling like anything. It kept going below. Now, even in here, people started thinking about, if the stock market is falling, then the real thinking will come to the economy part and the companies related to it, right? The economy also started falling down, and now the stock market is not able to find where it should be, whether it should go still below or is it the right level. So this is where the volatility is still there. It's moving up and down. It's moving up and down. That is the reason you're seeing so much volatility in the last 2 weeks in Indian stock market, as well as the stock market across the world, Australia, Philippines, US. And they never seen these kind of sell off in the uh, last few decades, I can say that. And this is the first time in US stock market also, the steepest fall of around more than 30% in just 22 days. Dow Jones and all the index in the major index, Nasdaq, had fell by 30% in just 22 days. It just happened in 1929 depression time in US, that during that time the stock, it fell by more than 30%, and it took almost 29 days. So that is the kind of uh, fall, and that is the why the fear gripped across the world. Now the volatility is still continuing, and to stabilize the economy, people started. I mean, the presidents and prime ministers all across the world, they started pouring in stimulus and all the informations to cool off the economy, to cool off the people, to help support to the people. That's it. Nothing big. For example, in India, the Maruti, all the major automobile companies say that they are going to shut off the companies for the next 2 months. Just think of it is not just one company, not the top 5 or 10 companies. Think about the allied industries with respect to the automobile. Everything will be get affected, and already they would have produced something that may be on hold, and for the next 2 months they don't know whether to produce or when to kickstart. They are not sure, and the demand on the other side has fallen like anything. And all the banking sectors, people are not going to come and ask for home loan or something, and people are not going to come for personal loan, and the banking industries has already started falling. And consumption industry, again, people are not having money, will not be able to have money in the next 3 to 6 months because of all the shutdown and lockdowns happening across the world. Logistics business is affected, travel industry as such is hugely affected, because you're not every all across the world, the travel has been banned, and entire airline industry has been brought to a halt like anything. So airline industry is getting into the depression as it separately, and it will take a hell lot of time and hell lot of money to come to make them come out of that biggest problem. So if you look at entire industry, metal industry, because China has been lockdown, commodities as such is more dependent on China and all across the world. Now metals, the need has been dropped, and metal industry is already fallen. And when you come to infrastructure as such, L&T the biggest player, because all the orders has been stopped, or they are not renewing anything, or everything has been put to stop. Just now the Nirmala Sitaraman, the finance minister, and all the ministers are battling to combat coronavirus and help people come out of it, because our prime minister openly said that more than economy, it's all about the life of people. No one should die just because of coronavirus. So that is the appeal he gave it to the people of India. And all they are and next within next couple of days, finance minister came yesterday, finance minister came openly and said about how to lift the people of lower and lower middle class, lower people, lower and poor people who will get hugely affected just because of this lockdown. And they are gave relief measures. And today RBI governor came and told that what kind of steps as a banking, as RBI, the Reserve Bank of India, is giving to the banks, and to stop the EMIs, to stop the credit card dues for the next couple of 3 months, so that people get a relief for certain things. They have cash for taking care of their life. So that is the relief measures they are giving. And they are trying to inject as much money into the system. That is how the RBI will play. They play the cards. So that all these measures are taken in the last couple of days just to combat the economy, and by that way the stock market will stabilize. And if you see in the last 3 4 days, the market has been slowly rising. It's not risen to the biggest level, but still it is at the bottom. The previous high was around 42,000, and now it's still hovering around 30,000. People are divided because the economy, people are not even focused. All the economists and everybody and all the entire world is focusing on how to stop the spread of coronavirus in US and all across the world, and especially in India, because we are highly popular next to China, and entire world is glued on to us, like how are we going to combat this. So once this is finished and we are coming out, there will be a lots of measures and steps should be taken, and they will surely take, Indian government will take, so that all the SMEs and all the bigger companies will be happy to restart the economy, or restart the business, and restart the jobs and everything, so that we are starting a new life. That's what I can say. So now once economy stabilize, because now it has gone from here, it has gone down, and now stock market is still below. Once the economy slowly builds up, this will also go up, because as I said, while starting, it will be like this, and slowly based on the performance of the companies, it will the stock market performance of the companies here, stock market will move up and down, and slowly over a period of time, either it will be at a premium price, or it will be at undervalued, and slowly at times it will be flat. It will be moving here and there. When you see the periods of 2000, after 2008, there was a huge crash because of mortgage crisis, and there was a very flat period. Let me share a graph which was, this will be easy to understand. If you see this period, there was a huge crash in 2008, 2007. So because there was a huge bubble forming at this point, 2007, I'm saying mortgage crisis happened in US, and in India, the price of the premium available to the economy was huge. Indian economy was growing at around 9 to 10% at nearing double digit, and there was a stabilized government, and because of that there was a huge rally in US and all across the world, and entire world started moving, and India too. If you see that there was a steep rise, even if there was a steep rise, immediately followed within 1 year there was a steep fall. That's how the market fell. And even now, the market is reacting like that. If you see here, from here, it went down to here. So now the market climbed here, and if you see, there is a drop in value, and from 11 to 30, 11 to almost 14 till the Congress government came out of the governance, uh, and BJP took over. This was a very flat period. This was invest in equities time. And if you had invested in this time, your returns would have increased. See, 4 years of flat growth, and immediately there was a huge movement, and slowly there was a move. The from 12, if you have been investing, and by 19 you would have been sitting at a huge profit, and just because of coronavirus epidemic, it had fall. And what you can infer or understand from this market is that if whenever there is a huge fall, there is a steep rally again within a span of 300 days. There here the market has moved within a span of 411 days. This is available in Google, and even in Dow Jones it happened within 411 days. Even in 16 there was a huge fall of 20% crash happened in Indian market because of global sell off. And even during this time there was a huge rally. Immediately there was a V-shaped growth. Even if you see, there was a V-shaped growth. This is what they say. There is a Whenever there is a fall like this, there will be a V-shaped growth, and the number of days will vary, but if you stay invested there will be a V-shaped growth. And even here there is a V-shaped growth. Whenever there is a fall, you can see that this is a little U-shape, but it's not a bigger problem here. And now that there is a steep fall, there is a steep fall from 42,000 to 29 to 25,000, and now there is a rally. This is a graph till March 23 2020, and after this there was a rally happening in the last 3-4 days. And just because of that, uh, don't get into the stock market. And what you should do now, because economy is getting into the depression mode, almost like recession and depression. People are economists and everybody are trying to understand where the economy is going to go, and how it is going to unfold in the future, because there is no reference in the past. Whatever happened in 1929 is totally different, and what happened in 1987 is different, and 2000 there was a Y2K problem that was different, and 2007 and 8 it was a mortgage crisis. And all the crisis whatever happened is because of the bubble which happened. Now it's a virus, and it happened in one country. Recession, depression happened in 29 in US, and 1997 it's because of the problem in US. And even when it comes to India, from 17 we have a track record, and we had Ashit Mehta scam and all other scams, and because of that. And 2007 there was a fall because of mortgage crisis, and 16 because of global sell-off. And as such, we didn't had a bigger problem because of the India's own problem. So we are reacting, the stock market in India are reacting just because of global issues. And now the global economy is going to go down from 2.3% GDP, it's going to be 0.7% GDP. And we don't know what will happen in the future in the next 1 or 2 weeks, because World Economic Forum, and everyone are revising the target every week or every 3 weeks, 2-3 weeks, because the impact is becoming huge, and it has affected the well-developed and well-developed countries. And the impact needs to be analyzed in the countries like emerging countries like India. So this is where the real problem for Indian government and Indian economy is, how we are going to come out of the problem, and how are we going to come up. So until the economy develops, until the economy improves, there will be a rally. It will match the previous levels, but from that, will that be a profitable growth, or it all depends on how the economy is going to perform. If all the companies are going to be able to perform, and then the stock market will move. If the companies are trying to find it difficult to grow in the span of next 3 to 6 months, automatically the stock market will never move up. So this is how the markets will react. And you need to also think that the stock market is not the real economy as such. It's just partially a stock market, and the stock market and economy are related. I'm just using the same and so that you can understand. The stock market is not the real economy, but if the economy increases, automatically the stock market will also increase. And at a time, it can be a biggest profitable growth, that is when your wealth will get created. People like Warren Buffett and India's Warren Buffett, we call him as that. Rakesh Jhunjhunwala and Purunji Vellier, they all invested in stocks and they become one of the wealthiest people in India. Rakesh Jhunjhunwala has had at one point of time he had more than 10,000 crores just by investing in Indian stock market. He started in 1990s, and slowly in the span of 30 years he has developed this skill. He has developed this. He increased his net worth, and he started investing in bigger companies. He was able to identify companies which, and for one small example is Titan. He predicted the growth of Titan, but do you know when he has invested in 2002, the stock value of Titan was single digit, single digit, and now it at one point of time it traded around 1,300 or something, and the stocks had grown, the stock had been split, and everything bonus and everything has been given, and he holds major portion of his wealth got created with Titan and Lupin. It's another pharmaceutical company. He had gone through all the phases, and that's how he was able to create. If you can stay invested for the next 3 years without needing that money, then you can come and invest in stock market. Or else, until the economy improves, or until your economy as such, I'm saying it's not about the Indian economy, your economy. If you're having sufficient cash and if you don't need this money for the next couple of years, then you come in, or else stay away with cash and let the economy improves over a period of time. Give for people to understand, give for you will get the signals like the economy, the market will stabilize, the stock market will stabilize. Here you will understand, if you're a business person, you will understand how the, if you have started getting regular orders, like well before 2 months your orders would have been regular, your tax, everything will be regular, right? If you are able to come back to that level, it means that economy is kickstarted and slowly improving over a period of time. Then it means that you can, the market, stock market is also getting stabilized. You can start watching from now on. And one more thing is, this is a huge opportunity for people to invest in the market. First, the people who have been in the market for the last 40-50 years, 1987 market has thrown huge opportunities for people to create wealth, and it just happened after another 20 years. It's like in 2007-8 it was a mortgage crisis. That is when the next big opportunity started, people got, because if you have been able to identify the bottom, or the bottom from, if you had started investing, market at one point of time was 21,000, it hit 10,000 and 8,000. 8,000 was the bottom. No one knows what was the bottom. If you had started investing from 12,000 to 8,000 over a staggered level of investment, slowly you would have created wealth within a span of 6 months or 1 year. And if you had stayed invested for the next 5 years, the market has doubled up, because most of the companies will give bonus, they will split everything, they will do, because they need money from the market, external markets. So they will do all kinds of things. That is when your wealth gets multiplied. So that is the reason you should stay invested for a very long time, at least more than 5 years, just like Warren Buffett does. So let's follow his rule, let's follow what he does, and you should be really confident about that company before investing. And I'm also saying about that, before having confidence, if you're investing, if you're betting, because the market will react and the stock will fall from now on, even in the next 3-6 months, because the performance of the company is affected because of the economy. You need to understand that. And as such, the stock is available here. If it falls below, if you really panic and sell out, you will be selling at loss. This is a time to identify the quality stocks. This is a time to invest. But only thing is, you should have cash, you should have emergency fund, huge emergency fund for the next 6 months. Then the remaining fund you can invest, or else stay away. So hope this is clear. If you have any doubts with respect to how the stock market is working, how the economy is related, and anything related to these things, you can post in your comments. And if you had liked this video, please share it with your friends so that they will also know about is it how these two are related, and why people mix up economy and stock market. So let's create awareness during this time. Thanks for watching. Please click the like button and share it with your friends. Thank you. And if you had liked this video, I'm inviting you to be part of my Unlimited Wealth Group community, where the like-minded people, like so many of other people. So we will be together and find ways to grow each other. It's not about the stock recommendation. It's all about understanding various wealth opportunities available in the market, giving the confidence to the through the like-minded people, because one person would have invested and created wealth, and it can be anything, and it can be anything with respect to wealth. So once that is one people is done and they are sharing it, others can try to understand and start investing and create wealth. As a community, let's grow, let's create wealth for ourselves. That is the only agenda for that group. So you can answer a three simple question and be part of my unlimited wealth community. I'm just getting started with that group, so you can be part of that as soon as possible. So see you inside the group.